President Obama wants to keep FBI Director Robert Mueller for another 2 years. Mueller's current 10-year term is set to expire on September 4th. Joining us for analysis is Newsmax chief Washington correspondent Ron Kessler, who's written several books on the agency, including his latest, The Secrets of the FBI, hitting bookstores on August 2nd. Ron, welcome back to Newsmax TV.
Thank you, Kathleen. Great to be with you.
Well, President Obama says that Mueller has turned the FBI into a preeminent counterterrorism agency. Given the president's recent Osama bin Laden success, do you think Congress will grant this request?
Congress loves Mueller. First of all, I think they do recognize that he really has turned around the agency into a counter-terrorism agency that pursues leads way beyond a particular case, way beyond a particular prosecution, in order to learn about plots that might be out there in the future. And that's one reason we have not been attacked since 9/11. Every few months you see roll-ups of terrorists by the FBI. A lot of times they don't get much play, but that's why we have not been attacked. And at the same time, Mueller has very good relations with members of Congress. He meets with them behind the scenes. He's very direct and honest. So there's no question that there will be a continuation of the Mueller empire, if you will, for the next 2 years.
You interviewed a number of folks inside the agency for your new book, Ron. What kind of impact is the extension of Mueller's term going to have on the agency and subsequently the war on terror?
Well, first, I think there'll be a big sigh of relief because there have been all these stories speculating about who the new director might be, and some agents don't like and others agents are skeptical about. I think generally they recognize that Mueller has just done a smash-up job as director, and they will want him to continue. A lot of times agents are first concerned about their own well-being. Is there going to be a change? They don't look at the bigger picture, which is, yes, this agency has kept us safe, and that's why, in the end, I think most agents are going to be very pleased with this.
Mueller was appointed under President George W. Bush just months before September 11th. President Obama, the candidate, pledged to be the anti-Bush, yet a growing number of people are observing that he's following many of Bush's policies when it comes to fighting terrorism. Is this just another example of the continuum?
It is. Behind the scenes, they all work pretty smoothly, and there is really not a lot of disagreement over some of the issues that filter into the political process. Obama will say things to appeal to his base, but as you say, in the end, in almost every case, he has followed the Bush policies. And one of the most important is that Bush told Mueller early on, I don't care about prosecution so much, I want to know what you're doing to prevent the next attack. And that has created a sea change in the way the FBI deals with terrorism. I go into that in my new book, The Secrets of the FBI, coming out in August, what the behind the scenes is, how that actually works. A lot of secrets that have never come out before, so stay tuned.
Ron, in his next term, what area of weakness within the agency do you think that Mueller should concentrate on? Well,
clearly the biggest failure under Mueller has been the effort to have a centralized computer system, a case management system. They claim that finally by September, October, they are going to have a real working model, but this is after, millions of dollars of waste, years of delay. So that is something that Mueller, in a recent interview with me, claimed is finally getting under control. But when it comes to the main point, stopping terrorist plots as well as other cases that the FBI pursues, they really are doing a sterling job. And as one example, now if a tip comes in, even if it's totally sounds totally bonkers, they will pursue it to the end. If it turns out that, well, it's explosives that this guy was buying, or materials for explosives, but it turns out he's in the pool supply business, before they would just discount it and say, well, of course, he's just buying supplies for pools. Now they will actually investigate to make sure that, in fact, that company is in that business, is not buying things for terrorist purposes. That's just one small example of the change in attitude. And the other one is that now the FBI will not try first to put someone in jail. They will try first to get cooperation, get leads on other terrorists. That's the first priority. The second priority is putting someone in jail.
Newsmax Chief Washington Correspondent Ron Kessler, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.